Our next guest speaker is Bianca Hoffman. She initiates, produces, and directs intersectional projects that leverage deep scientific knowledge across health and digital medicine, software, art, and public engagement. She's currently head of science communication at the Fraunhofer Institute for Digital Medicine, MEVIS. Hello, Bianca.
Thank you, Mark. I'm speaking to you, as Mark mentioned, today as head of science communication at Fraunhofer MEVIS. It's an institute for digital medicine, and also as a cross-sectoral producer at the intersection of science, art, and tech. So I initiate, direct, and develop artistic experiential projects with scientific experts to encourage people to engage with science meaningfully. And the research at Fraunhofer MEVIS aims to resolve the rapidly increasing complexity in healthcare to achieve improved outcomes and efficiency with reduced side effects and risks. Supporting physicians in recognizing diseases such as cancer more reliably, tailoring treatments to each patient, and making therapy success measurable. So in our R&D engagement, this is how we call it at the Institute, we aim to remove barriers that prevent people from interacting with complex health topics. Yeah, as I mentioned, in our science engagement, we aim to remove barriers that prevent people from interacting with complex health topics and STEM sciences. So our goal is to express the value of the R&D to the public and encourage interaction with new medical technologies and opportunities in more depth, and also bringing some joy and fun into STEM science. So I'm delighted to be here today to give you a bit of an insight into how and why I began collaborating with artists, and want to share some of the questions that drive me, such as how can we build emotionally positive engagement with STEM sciences and engage people in self-directed learning? How can we create an R&D landscape that is more diverse and inclusive? And also thinking about that research, development, and art do not exist in a societal vacuum and are usually not devised by isolated geniuses. So what ideas for the future do we want to carry forward that are sustainable beyond our lifetime? So just to embed it a bit within the Institute's activities, these SciArt projects are part of a broader initiative at the Institute to transform classic science communication and the promotion and education of young talent into R&D engagement. And in addition to press and media work, dialogue-oriented hands-on workshops with the next generation, the production of interactive and immersive exhibits, and moving images have enriched the science engagement for over a decade. So in the field of digital medicine, we face growing complex challenges, just like all the real world problems we face, including climate change and zoonotic diseases and social inequalities. So solving them requires the integration of many disciplines, and to find meaningful answers in healthcare and scientific education in the future, learning contexts for deep interdependent thinking are needed. So in addition to true human-centered tech, we really think we need to return to a kind of the physically real. If we want to anchor the digital transformation in human and social needs, and accounting for physical and psychological possibilities, we have to differentiate digital and physical skills, applications, and experiences, and merge them in new ways. So to give you a better idea of what the researchers at the institutes are developing, I show you a brief artistic immersive installation, The Beauty of Blood Flow Analysis. Is based on research and tech in digital medicine and conveys emerging possibilities for gaining knowledge and making predictions about the human body. Driven by awe and curiosity, this project fuses technological prowess, art, and science, and it allows the audience to witness the swirling blood flow of a blood in the healthy human heart and the steadiness of the heartbeat. And by looking at the blood flow, various diseases can be detected. For example, the turbulent vortices indicate a malfunction of the heart valve. The starting point was exclusively real medical data for the dynamic reconstruction of the blood flow acquired at the MRI lab at Fraunhofer MEVIS. And these new flow visualization techniques are being integrated into diagnostic software so that physicians, without using a catheter, can see how blood flow changes due to heart disease. The project was produced in 2D and stereoscopic 3D and 360 half dome and was shown at the Raw Science Film Festival in California, amongst other places. And it has been starting point for further exploration with artists. The aim is to complement scientifically inspired art and the exhibition with interdisciplinary educational programs to engage diverse audiences in the wonders of the human body and the constructive possibilities of new technology. And beside these own artistical works, we support international artists or develop works in cooperation for the immersive installation Digital Medicine, Arts and STEAM. Before I slide to nerdy, we thought advice from Singapore and LA-based artists Ina Conradi and Mark Chavez. So we looked at medical data from an artistic perspective and brought it into public spaces and new contexts and new audiences. And understanding and negotiating complex issues in digital medicine requires deep expertise, time, and dedication. But who is developing new tech and telling the stories and shaping the medical future? So this installation is based on reflections about researchers and their curiosity and creativity in dealing with issues that can only be penetrated through technical, scientific, and mathematical understanding. So we see a floating human body, and we are looking into a 3D reconstruction of a liver down to a layer of digitized microscopic lymphoma tissue that, when magnified, reveals itself at the space-like environment with star-like lights in which the whole body MRI floats. And the starlight, or what appears to be starlight, is broken DNA and indicates cancer. So the project premiered simultaneously in 3D at the Deep Space 8K in Austria and in 2D at the 15-meter wide video wall Media Nexus in Singapore, amongst other places. R&D partnerships are another way the Institute is collaborating with artists. So I'm interested in using digital technologies to promote a more profound understanding of life and the physical world for a deeper reconnection to analog life, not to create a digital twin of reality, but an enhanced view of with the help of a digital magnifying lens. I had the great pleasure of collaborating together with my colleagues with the art collective Marshmallow Laser Feast from London. And starting point was the installation, Beauty of Blood Flow, and this resulted in the artwork entitled The Tides Within Us. And quite stunning interactive screens allow the audience to explore the human body and the internal human ecosystem. And the immersive artwork investigates the flow of oxygen through the cardiovascular system, and it paints a picture of the human body as a fluid event, more like a whirlpool than a static object. And this flow questions the boundary of where the living body begins and where it ends. So the work was presented at York Art Gallery, SIGGRAPH Asia, and has been part of a launch program for the Real Store, the UK's first permanent immersive digital art gallery. And a further exploration of the breathing human body is Evolver. It's a virtual reality journey, and it was shown at the Tribeca Film Festival, done by Marshmallow Laser Feast, and Fraunhofer MEVIS is key scientific collaborator, provided data sets and bodily scanning techniques, have informed every aspect of the project, which was narrated by Kate Blanchett. So our artistic focus then developed in getting more engaged in the artist process and learn as scientists more what they how artists approach topics. So we started to create an own residency program. It's called STEAM Imaging, and my colleague Sabrina Tölken, now former Hase, and I designed this program, which allows in-depth scientist-artist exchange. And in her performance installation entitled Whose Scalpel, Taiwanese media artist Yan Tzu Chang addressed the future of the relationship between humans and machines in surgery. And Whose Scalpel is a fusion of an interactive 3D model of the artist's own heart and movies based on her medical images. It was shown at Ars Electronica and amongst other places. So together with the artist, we develop STEAM courses and workshops within this residency. So school students can approach STEM topics in a new way. And I mean, they will work in career path and they will have working profiles we don't even know yet. So the workshops help students make important connections between education and career opportunities that they might not otherwise have considered. And yeah, so we were driven by the question, what would a curriculum for the next generation look like that prepares them for the world and work of the future? And how deep is an understanding of basic concepts in physics, for instance, or math or computer science needed to apply them in an interrelated and sensible way? So how much depth do we have to sacrifice maybe in favor of interdisciplinary breadth on the other hand? So in the STEAM course, students can slip into the roles of experts, inventors, and creative people and explore topics and theories together with them and work with real-life methods and practices. The innovation cycles have become so short and that we need to strengthen mastering new technologies and skills for continuous independent acquisition. One of our artists in residence was Eli Joteva, a Bulgarian intermedia artist and researcher based in LA. Her artwork, Intrabeing, confronts the boundaries of imaging the human body to imagine a boundless and interactive sense of being. And during the residency, Ellie worked remotely with researchers from Fraunhofer MEVIS due to the pandemic, but very close and very intense to investigate the capabilities of medical imaging and simulation. And she conducted a series of full body MRI scans with clinical partner we have in LA. And she made diffusion tensor imaging, DTI scans. They are commonly used only to show connectivity in the brain or mainly to uncover nerve fibers in the chest and pelvic regions of her body. So she just scanned parts we usually wouldn't scan with this technique. In the first phase of the residency program, she worked, as I said, closely with the scientist, and the scientist supported her in her artwork development process. And an integral phase is the joint development of the STEAM course with and for the school students. And in the second phase, the joint STEAM course took place online over a time of 6 weeks with the students. We planned to be on site so that the scientists would be on site and then Ellie joins. But due to the pandemic, we couldn't enter the school. That was a challenge, but somehow we managed to connect quite well with them because it were 10 evenings, 10 workshops. We tried it once shorter, and I mean, you need the real world connection. It's way better. But it worked out quite well. In the third and fourth phases, the artist exhibited the work to, including Ars Electronica, and make the subject of imaging and the boundaries and also the limitations of possibilities in imaging accessible to a broader public. And so an important part is the joint creation of the STEAM workshops, because that allows really an eye-level exchange between the scientist and the artist. And so we integrated from the Institute, beside Ellie, and animation producers, clinicians, also draftsmen, and they all gave their perspective on topics around digital medicine. And to design the course, the scientists met with the artists in workshops to break up the planned STEAM teaching in a new way. So it was arranged around physical objects that are used directly or indirectly in their daily work, namely a skeleton and phantoms, which are physical models used for research purpose. And the topic addressed medical imaging, visualization methods, programming tools. And we had an external evaluator, Claudia Schnuck. She was using questionnaires and personal interviews Just some examples: the course integrated a diverse range of topics, creative and analytical processes, and theory and practice. The participants learned and applied new tools and knowledge, recognizing the entanglement of subjects. The course motivated the students to use cross-disciplinary thinking and ideation at school, using natural sciences and technology as tools in creative projects, and understood that visualization and creative techniques are relevant to natural science and technology too. And the outcome of these different approaches to cooperate with artists has been used for dissemination and was taken to conferences, for presentation, talks, panel discussions, and poster presentations, to scientific documentary exhibits in the film business, at industry exhibitions, and also to art, science, and tech festivals, to art galleries and science museums. The artist opened for us new ways, and also for the school students, to look at and deal with real world questions and challenges. Art already plays a role in investigating new tech, new applications, and possible problematic developments in society. And in medtech, the researchers are used to intertrans or multidisciplinary work. But entering spaces together with the artist raised yet wider questions and alternate ways of exploring and presenting scientific topics. So within the rule-based applied R&D culture, these collaborative spaces offer fuzzy frames of reference. Artists are essential navigators in these temporary transformative spaces within the research organizations. And this involves mutual learning, trust, common ground, and curiosity about what could emerge. And focusing on the process itself allows an unexpected and innovative outcomes. The autonomy of the artist, not forcing them to adapt their thinking to the processes or ways of dealing with the tech, usually in the R&D process, is essential. And at the same time, it is very important that the artists are attentive and do not corrupt the precise, extensive knowledge of the scientist. The collaboration with the next generation also serves as an exemplary model for approaching new tech critically. And the focus is directed to autonomous creative interactions, inner motivation, talent, and resources, and away from purely external demands from others. So this allows taking responsibility for knowledge gain, enhances personal autonomy, and produces cross-sectional social ties. And this is where artists can be role models and even navigators in demanding times. So beside having a developer, a mediator, or mentor in these process-oriented projects at the Institute, art and culture organizations and initiatives such as Space Studio.org London, Ars Electronica in Linz, or the Art Science Center at UCLA have been essential for matchmaking and support. And I'm very much looking forward to learning more about the outcomes of this great initiative here from SILBERSALZ. So I would love to hear your thoughts and questions. Feel free to contact me. And yeah, thanks you. Thanks for the possibility to share these experiences.
Thank you, Bianca. I've had the great privilege, I'd say, of experiencing some of this beautiful and awe-inspiring work. And it's great to hear your experiences of how to manage these SciArt collaborations.